I think clearly these were acts of hate motivated by anti-Semitism.
2 suspects, 2 crimes, and a nation gripped by a week of hate, political, and racial violence. With suspects in custody as the investigations continue, we'll tell you how the nation is grappling with the frightening implications of a violent week. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 6:30.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dwayne Lindo. Thank you for joining us. Topping our news, the man accused of unleashing the deadliest attack on the community in the U.S. is scheduled to stand before a judge tomorrow, facing charges that could include the death penalty. ABC's Maggie Rulli is in Pittsburgh, where the suspect shot and killed 11 people inside a synagogue, wounding 6 more, including 4 police officers.
One day after what's believed to be the worst attack on the Jewish community in the history of our country, this tight-knit Pittsburgh neighborhood remains gripped by despair and disbelief.
The fact that this attack took place during a worship service makes it even more heinous.
On Saturday morning, a gunman opened fire in a beloved synagogue as an unsuspecting congregation was trapped inside.
This is crazy. This is unbelievable. People have to stop the hatred here.
11 people murdered simply because of their religion. The dead, including 2 brothers and a married couple in their 80s.
This is an awful, awful period for our Jewish community and especially for the families who've been affected. And it's real once you hear the names.
According to court documents, the suspect, Robert Bowers, told authorities he wanted, quote, all Jews to die. His violent attack is now being investigated as a hate crime, and he's facing more than 20 counts that are eligible for the death penalty.
Today we stand together as a community that rejects hatred and violence, a community where neighbors respect neighbors, where we embrace our religious diversity and we celebrate our differences.
Local leaders are promising resilience and change.
Hatred will not have a place anywhere.
As the neighborhood is left processing the weight of this loss.
You don't even know how to feel. You feel like you're floating around today.
And leaning on each other for support. Many of the law enforcement officials who've worked this crime scene say it is one of the worst they have ever seen. And the FBI agent in charge says it may take up to a week to process. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
And here at home, the local Jewish community is honoring the victims of Saturday's attack in Pittsburgh. ABC 7's Erica Jackson joins us live from the Al-Quds Center in Bradenton with details on their tribute. Erica?
Dwayne, good evening. Today's memorial wasn't just meant to honor the victims, but it also serves as a reminder for the Jewish community to come together and stand in unity during these hard times. A group gathered earlier today at the Al-Quds Center this afternoon for prayer, and everyone read the names of the victims out loud. Local leaders say it's urgent to defend against the continued threat of anti-Semitism and say the hate against Jews is historical, stressing now is not the time for the community to sit back and stay quiet. This center is named after the late Al Katz, a Holocaust survivor. We spoke with his daughter today, who says the goal of their meeting is to bring everyone together to show support for the victims and their families.
My goodness, there are dozens and dozens of people right now who have lost someone very, very dear to them, who did nothing more than go to synagogue on the Shabbat to pray.
Other Jewish groups around the Suncoast are speaking out about the attacks. We spoke with leaders at Sarasota's Temple Emmanuel. They tell us they've been providing resources to families throughout the weekend and are praying for an end to violence. And also the Jewish Federation of Sarasota Manatee announced they will be holding a community-wide vigil tomorrow, but they tell us that they will have additional security, so there is a need to register beforehand. We have details on that event on our website, mysuncoast.com. Reporting live in Bradenton, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Erica, thank you. Following that shooting in Pittsburgh, Governor Rick Scott is trying to make sure people are safe here in Florida. He directed the Florida Highway Patrol to increase the presence of state troopers at religious institutions. Across the state, FHP will work with local police departments and sheriff's offices to determine how to increase safety in each community. Governor Scott said, quote, "The shooting at the synagogue in Pennsylvania was an act of pure evil and hatred. There is no place in America for intolerance and violence, and we'll have to do everything in our power to protect Floridians who are peacefully gathered to worship." And we're easing into cooler temperatures. The only question is, will it continue? Let's go to Wendy Ross for a first check on your First Alert weather forecast.
I wanted you to see what we experienced this morning. Just to give you an idea, this is how the day started with our temperatures in the 50s and 60s and that crispness in the air. So you know fall is here. And right now, of course, we're looking at temperatures in the 70s. So 70s is very comfortable when you have low dew points as well. And you can see all across the state, we're looking at temperatures in the 70s. You get down a little bit farther to the south, very close to 80 degrees. That is what they experienced earlier today in the southern part of our state. But right here across our area, readings right now are in the mid-70s, and it is a beautiful, beautiful night outside. So readings are pretty much uniform around the region, and we're looking at temperatures just slightly warmer down to our south. Currently, we're looking at a temperature reading of 74 to 75 degrees in Sarasota, Bradenton, and Venice, and all reporting nothing but fair skies. It's a beautiful night to be out, but tonight it's going to be a little bit cooler than it was last night. You'll notice that over the next several hours we're going to continue with fair skies, but we'll see our temperatures getting down into the 50s for overnight lows. It's almost like mountain air has come to visit our little corner of the woods. And we'll let you know how the rest of this upcoming work week is going to be shaping up weather-wise. That's coming up in just a few minutes, Dwayne.
Wendy, thanks. It's time for the mail bomb suspect to face a judge. Cesar Sayoc is expected in a Miami court tomorrow afternoon. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has the latest in that investigation.
In this exclusive video obtained by ABC News, you can see the package bomb suspect working at a gentleman's club over the 1-week period. The FBI says he was mailing explosive devices to high-profile Democrats and critics of the president. There's Cesar Sayoc hosting at the door of the West Palm Beach club, even as his mailed IEDs unleashed a campaign of terror across the country. On the day of his arrest, in the early Friday morning hours, Sayoc was at the club again, paging through a notebook. A few hours later, FBI agents took him down at this AutoZone store.
He just had that look of, okay, it's over.
Sayoc is scheduled to be in court Monday afternoon in Miami on federal charges, accused of mailing 14 package bombs in these yellow envelopes. He faces up to 48 years in prison if convicted.
Political violence or the threat of violence is antithetical to our vigorous system of self-government.
FBI agents are still combing through the suspect's van. Law enforcement sources tell ABC News it appears it was a rolling workshop, saying he may have made the explosive devices in that vehicle that was covered with political messages. Inside, a printer, stamps, paper, and an unidentified powder and soldering equipment. Sayoc's former employer says he used the van to deliver pizzas from her shop.
We knew the side of him that was the reliable driver, and then I knew the side of him that was anti-gay, anti-black.
Authorities say they're not sure if all of Sayoc's mailings have been recovered and urge the public to remain cautious. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
Another lawsuit is being filed over the process used to select 3 new Florida Supreme Court justices. The League of Women Voters of Florida and Common Cause asked the state Supreme Court to block a statewide nominating commission. They want to stop this commission from interviewing candidates. In September, Governor Scott asked a nominating commission to start accepting applications, but the Supreme Court ruled that Scott does not have the authority to name the replacements. Despite the ruling, a statewide panel is planning to interview candidates and come up with a finalist by early November. And Florida voters will decide next month whether to ban greyhound racing in the state by 2021. Backers of the ban say greyhound racing frequently leaves dogs with gruesome injuries and even dead. State records show on average about 2 greyhounds die of injury or illness each week at Florida's 11 tracks. But racing supporters say the state's 8,000 racing greyhounds are treated better than most pets and happiest when competing. They say injured dogs get quality veterinary treatment and accuse racing opponents of exaggerating injuries to get donations. And more than 250,000 people in Florida have registered to vote since the last registration deadline for the primary elections. That's according to the Florida Division of Elections. Breaking it down by party affiliation, nearly 5 million Floridians are registered Democrats, 4.6 million are Republicans, and 3.5 million claim neither party. While there has been much talk of a potential blue wave as Democrats seek to push back against President Donald Trump, so far more GOP voters have cast ballots in Florida than Democrats. As of Saturday morning, more than 990,000 Republicans had voted and over 916,000 Democrats. And as a reminder, this is the final week for early voting. In Manatee County, voters can cast ballots from 8:30 to 6:30 at 5 locations: Lakewood Ranch Town Hall, Manatee County Utilities Administration offices, Palmetto Library, Rocky Bluff Library, and the Supervisor of Elections office. And in Sarasota County, you can vote at 3 Supervisor of Elections offices in Sarasota, Venice, and Northport, as well as North Sarasota Library, Fruitville Library, and Westfield Sarasota Square Mall. Those locations are open from 8:30 to 6:30. Early voting in both Sarasota and Manatee counties run through Saturday, November 3rd. And still to come here on ABC 7, a local artist transforms a pedestrian crosswalk to showcase the character of downtown Sarasota. Plus, how people got out to enjoy the cooler fall weather on the Suncoast. Stay with us.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now. In one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TruStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TruStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
My grandpa was always telling me about it.
But the civil rights thing happened like 1,000,000 years ago.
Still, he thought it was important that I know what it was like.
So we followed the civil rights trail to Alabama. We saw Dr. King's church,
the bridge in Selma, the church in Birmingham, and I finally knew what he was talking about.
Some things you just have to experience for yourself.
Start your civil rights journey at alabama.travel.
A small portion of Main Street was temporarily closed this morning while an artist painted a new pedestrian crosswalk. Local artist Kareth Christine painted the project at the crosswalk near the restaurant C'est La Vie and Cask and Ale. She began at 6 a.m. this morning and spent 6 hours completing the artwork. The crosswalk remained closed to allow the paint to dry, and we caught up with her today to talk to her about that design.
The design's pretty much just a reflective. It's supposed to add color down to the downtown Main Street. It's just reflective of downtown, kind of like icons of, iconography of Sarasota, just kind of things that we want to just incorporate the local businesses and just like, I don't know, just brighten it up and make it a little bit more lively.
Christine will be submitting another design for another crosswalk art project to be painted at a later date. And today, Mote Marine Lab was encouraging people to come out to Mote to beat the season. They were giving out free Tervis cups to those who bought a single-day ticket to the aquarium today. But even if you missed out on the deal, Mote Marine says you still have time to enjoy the aquarium before the season gets any busier.
December, we really start to get pretty busy through January, so it's great. I mean, the weather's beautiful right now, so come hang out on Lido, come to Mote, enjoy some of that pre-season activities before everyone else gets here.
And November is actually Mote Marine's Member Appreciation Month. Mote will hold a number of events this month to show appreciation for its members. And it was definitely feeling more like fall this weekend. Wendy could agree. And fall means it's time for Oktoberfest. First held in Germany in 1810, Oktoberfest has grown into the world's largest beer and fun fair celebration. This weekend, the Sarasota Downtown Merchants Association bought an authentic Oktoberfest experience to Sarasota. People were able to celebrate all the historical norms of Oktoberfest with lively German music, Bavarian dancing, mouth-watering foods, and big pints of beer.
The beer is great. You can walk around with it, and the food, incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Oh, enjoy the weather, have a beer, and it's a beautiful day for this. Enjoy the music and the food, the festivities. A lot of fun.
The festival also featured a large marketplace of local vendors selling arts, crafts, and one-of-a-kind keepsakes. Pretty nice out there.
Oh my goodness. No wonder we're the number 5 small city in America.
Right.
Unbelievable all the things we've got going on, especially this time of the year.
Yeah.
And when you wake up to the kind of weather we had today, you don't ever want to go. You don't ever want to leave. It's just so nice, isn't it? We had an overnight low of 59 degrees this morning and 78. That's how warm it got. 78 degrees, and so you can see we really smashed averages. 64 degrees and 83 is normally what we see this time of the year, so it was very, very comfortable out there. And part of the reason it's been so comfortable is the fact that our dew points are so low, so that's giving us that crisp feeling in the air. And 40s and 50s. Wow, that is comfortable outside. And of course, temperatures around the state are pretty much uniform. We're looking at the coolest reading around Jacksonville, 72 degrees there. Tampa also reporting 72 right now, as is Melbourne. But once you move into Central Florida, we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 70s at this hour, and everyone is reporting fair skies. So right here along the beaches, we've got temperatures in the low 70s, and then you move away from the beach and you're not looking at much of a change. And that's what's going on really everywhere across our viewing area, but the farther south you go, it's just slightly warmer in some locations. As far as the winds are concerned, they're just diving down out of the north, and as a result of that, our temperatures are going to get even colder tonight. So you can see that these readings are very calm, so we don't have to worry about any problems for tonight if you're heading out the door. But we are going to see our temperatures back down into the 50s tonight for the overnight lows. And you can see that we're going to be cooler in places than places like Gainesville and Jacksonville by the early morning hours. So we're going to be seeing that cooler weather really filtering on down. And then by tomorrow, we're back up to temperatures in the 80s once again. Remember all the clouds that were sitting on top of us yesterday? Well, they're just a thing of the past. They're all down to our south. We've got a few clouds and showers out here Nothing that's going to come back at us, and so the entire state really reporting just beautiful sky conditions, and this is going to last through Monday. We're going to continue to see beautiful weather. We've got a cold front that's coming in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but we don't have to worry about it for the next couple of days. And as you can see, there was nothing out in the Gulf of Mexico to bother us, and there's nothing on shore that we have to be concerned with. Now, of course, we are talking about Oscar, and Oscar, as I mentioned late last night, is the 15th system now of the season, of the 2018 season, and now he's just become a hurricane. So we're dealing with Hurricane Oscar with 75-mile-per-hour winds at this point, moving towards the west. That would seem rather scary, but we do have another system that's out here pushing off the U.S. mainland, and so that's going to interfere with the progress of Oscar. And so Oscar is going to start to make more of a U-ey and move on up into the northern Atlantic, and as you can see, it's going to get stronger over the next couple of days, and we may get some tides that come on through and some high surf along the eastern seaboard, but we are not going to be having any problems with Oscar over the next couple of days. And here he is right here, and here's the system that's coming and defending us, and so this is what it's going to get caught up and it's swept away with, and we're not going to have to worry about Oscar here in the U.S. mainland. So that's some good news over the next couple of days. And here's our next cold front. This is the one that's going to have an impact on our weather beginning this upcoming Friday, and we're going to start to see it come on through here beginning on Thursday night with about a 40% chance of rain in the forecast, and then up to an 80% chance as that front comes through, cooling things off once again, and that's going to be about it for us. We don't have to worry. But all the way through Wednesday, fair skies, and on this night, Wednesday night, you will be able to go out and do whatever you need to do because there won't be any rain to interfere with it. Dwayne?
Wendy, thank you so much. Some lucky people waking up today with champagne wishes and caviar dreams. There were 2 lucky tickets drawn in the Powerball lottery overnight, the second astronomical jackpot this week. Let's go to ABC's Diane Macedo at the site where one of the tickets was sold in Harlem, New York.
After 2 weeks of rising jackpots, we finally have a Powerball winner, actually 2 of them, and I am standing in one of those lucky spots where one of those tickets was purchased. So the jackpot ended up coming to about $688 million. That's one of the largest in the game's history. One of the tickets was sold here at this deli in West Harlem, New York. The other was sold in central Iowa. The lump sum comes to about $198 million, which means each of these winners is taking home more than $140 million apiece. Not too shabby at all. And keep in mind, this comes just days after the Mega Millions clocked in a record $1.5 billion jackpot. That ticket was sold in South Carolina. As for last night, there were also 2 additional winners in Texas and Florida that took home $2 million apiece, and 13 people won $1 million each. And guys, none of them was me.
More to come here on ABC 7. Stick with us.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Gettle Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gettle dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gettle location near you or visit Gettle.com.
Gettle's got it.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure. I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Mascara adds depth to the eyes. Lipstick gives the mouth color and definition. And ALS paralyzes the body.
You look great, Mom.
Thank you. Slowly taking away the ability to move and eventually breathe.
The weekend before Halloween isn't usually a big one for going to the movies, but several films did well. David Daniel has the weekend top 5.
Torpedoes in the water! They fired at us? The submarine thriller Hunter Killer began its tour of duty in 5th place, launching with $6.7 million. Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween stayed in 4th place, scaring up $7.5 million. Venom made $10.8 million for 3rd place and a domestic total of $187 million.
All right, there we go.
A Star is Born took 2nd place for the 4th straight weekend, earning $14.1 million.
We met with Michael. I showed him the mask. It was nothing.
The weekend before its namesake holiday, Halloween repeated as #1. $32 million gave the horror sequel $127 million in 10 days. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, we should have some folks catch a movie and then catch us at 11.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
What a great idea. Now you can see the list of all the things that are out there to watch.
Of course, and enjoy the weather as well.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yeah. See you at 11.
My name is Blake. I received a heart transplant when I was 2 weeks old. I play defense for the Red Hot Tornadoes. Sometimes my heart starts pounding like faster and faster as I go. I know I have someone else's heart inside me. It makes me feel happy because someone was generous enough to give me a second chance to live.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.